Now, the Iranian government says it's building 2 more nuclear reactors, another sign that it has no interest in placating Western fears that the Islamic Republic may be building a bomb. Now, Channel 4 News has obtained footage which shows the new president, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, claiming he was surrounded by a divine light when he was addressing the UN Security Council back in September. And he's recently said that all his country's policies should be based on the second coming of a mystical religious figure. Our international editor, Lindsay Hilsum, has been to Tehran and to the Jamkaran shrine just outside the holy city of Qom to find out how the president's messianic devotion to the Shia Muslim saint the Mahdi is shaking up the country.
Jamkaran, the shrine to the 12th Imam, the Mahdi. The faithful write their prayers. He is their most revered saint, their only hope. One day, they believe, he'll return to earth through the well which lies under the postbox. In the meantime, they mail him their wishes. One woman prays the Mahdi will cure her son's opium addiction. In the men's section, more prayers. A terminally ill child, a daughter still unmarried, unemployment, all the problems of poverty. Many mullahs say the well and postbox a mere superstition. But thousands of Iranians come to the Jamkaran shrine every Tuesday evening. They're looking for a sign that the Mahdi will return soon. Now it seems the Mahdi has become political. Iran's new president says he's a devotee of the 12th Imam and of Jamkaran. One of the first things Mahmoud Ahmadinejad did on becoming president was to allocate $17 million to this shrine for the 12th Imam, the Mahdi. All Shias believe that one day the Mahdi will return, but some Iranians are beginning to worry that their new president is reorienting the country's politics towards that day. It's as if Tony Blair had said that from now on, Britons should be preparing for the second coming of Jesus. Darkness falls and still the pilgrims come. They're warding off the evil eye. For 8 years, Iran was run by reformists who talked of democracy and disparaged such religiosity. But the new president talks the language of the people. Some are keen to praise him, provided they don't have to look a woman journalist in the eye.
Mr. Ahmadinejad is the only president in 28 years who came with a slogan of bringing justice, saying that he is one of us, cut from the same cloth. He proudly invokes the name of God the Merciful, and after that he always prays for the coming of the Mahdi. With this sentence, he proves that he and the government he has formed are all lovers of the Mahdi.
He repeated that prayer when he addressed the UN General Assembly last September, calling on God to hasten the coming of the Mahdi. A DVD circulating secretly in Tehran and on the internet shows the president a few days later entering a house with a senior conservative Ayatollah. They sit and drink tea in the traditional manner. What he says about his experiences in New York gives a rare insight into how Mr. Ahmadinejad really thinks.
On
the last day, when I was speaking before the assembly, one of our group told me that when I started to say, "In the name of God, the Almighty and Merciful," he saw a light around me, and I was placed inside this aura. I felt it myself. I felt the atmosphere suddenly change. And for those 27 or 28 minutes, the leaders of the world did not blink. When I say they didn't bat an eyelid, I'm not exaggerating, because I was looking at them. And they were rapt. It seemed as if a hand was holding them there and had opened their eyes to receive the message from the Islamic Republic.
The reformists are horrified that this is the image of Iran being seen around the world.
In the last 8 years, the reformists tried to give a very clear sign to the world that the Islam in Iran is not so fanatic. And I think the new government, they want to go back 3 decades. And not only they want to go back themselves, but they want to pull back the country for 3 decades So everybody now is worried about the future.
Happy landings. It's the annual day of the Basij, a paramilitary organization meant to protect the country. 3 decades ago, they were the vanguard of the Islamic Revolution. Today, they're showing off their skills and their air force. This is Mr. Ahmadinejad's power base, his enforcers amongst the population, although it looks as if not everyone's in step. We caught up with the president and asked what he meant when he said Iranians should prepare for the return of the Mahdi. The reply, they must be pure and devout. Mr. Ahmadinejad shocked Western governments when he said Israel should be wiped off the face of the earth. He used Basij Day to send another hardline message to Europe and America, to the countries trying to prevent Iran from developing nuclear technology.
You, whose arsenals are full of nuclear weapons, you who have used nuclear weapons this century against defenseless people and nations, you who used depleted uranium in the Iraq war, you whose arsenals are full of chemical and biological weapons, who are you to come out and say that you're suspicious of Iran's nuclear program?
The parades, the parachutes, it's all designed to show that Iran is a force to be reckoned with, and that nuclear power, as the President says in every speech, is their inalienable right.
A human chain, symbolically protecting the country. The reformists fear the President's harsh words will lead to Iran being called up in front of the UN Security Council on suspicion of making a nuclear weapon.
We want nuclear technology to enhance Iran's standing in the world. But if that means we will have to sacrifice the power we already have because of sanctions or even more extreme measures against us, then in reality we will have gained the technology, but we won't have increased our power and influence at all.
The Bright Future Institute at Qom, devoted to the study of the Mahdi and other messianic cults. They catalogue the literature and answer questions from the public, sent in by email, phone or letter. The most common query is, how will we know that the Mahdi is about to return? So this is representing Imam Mahdi. The children's books they design show what a wonderful world it will be afterwards. But just like fundamentalist Christians, Shias believe the Messiah's second coming will be heralded by an apocalypse, war and chaos. They don't say it publicly, but some Iranians worry that their new president has no fear of international turmoil, may think it's just a sign from God. Iranians mourn their imams, their saints, as if they died yesterday, not centuries ago. They voted out the reformists who talked of democracy and human rights, but brought no real improvement to the lives of the poor. Iran's new president may alarm the educated elite and Western leaders, but the faithful aren't looking for clever diplomacy over nuclear power. They're looking to the president and the Mahdi for a miracle. Lindsay Hilsum, Channel 4 News, Tehran.
The leadership style of President Ahmadinejad in Iran. Now